Hi, and welcome to the show that oftentimes is decided on what we do off of Nose Goes, except this time where I just got shafted
In 5D.
in 5D.
Proper shafted. We just
Proper
went.
shafted.
The openings have
you
become
go.
much more complaining about having to
Hi, and
decide
welcome to
things
the show
about
that
the
oftentimes
the intro.
Tyler used to come in here all the time with this great idea and just like, I got the intro, we're like, fuck
He
yeah.
did.
we'll
He
just-
dominated
Okay,
the
look.
intro.
Let's not go too far. They weren't always great ideas, but they were ideas, and we come
They
up
were
with
better
like.
ideas than all the ones we've had.
Yeah, it was always better than nothing, which is what we bring to the table.
We bring more than nothing. We bring cool T-shirts.
I just got a plain red one.
This is a crew shirt from when I did security at a Slipknot show.
So how are you guys doing this evening?
Pretty good. Still stuffed up. I'm taking hauls like M&Ms, but other than that, all right.
Right on, right on. And what about you, Devin?
I went to work and didn't choke anybody to death.
That sounds like what I did today. Man,
Yeah.
you're like twinsies, man.
And then I
Oh,
did tacos.
Does that mean I lose because I actually did choke someone?
Yeah, no, that's losing. You,
Damn it.
you failed.
You lose, motherfucker.
You had one
Uh,
job, and it was not to choke somebody to death.
Oh man.
For all of those that are maybe new or not new or just want to hear who we are, I'm Figbird, and with me, as usual, is Mr. Devin Bonsai161.
Woo!
There's also Eduardo, Archangel of Light. I don't think there's a number there, but usually I see one. And of course,
No
I'm
number.
Steven if you want my actual name. But, you know, I figure we should throw those in there somewhere.
Usually just call him Steve or douchebag, whatever works.
Yeah, douchebag, fuckface, it's all the same.
Yeah.
All of our names are the same.
Shitbean. I like shitbean.
All right. So actually, I wanted to continue a conversation that we were having. Has anyone actually played the new Mortal Kombat yet?
I have not.
I've watched a streamer play it.
Yeah, I have.
See, that's almost just as good nowadays.
Yeah, it's the same thing. I
Sometimes.
didn't have to try, and I got the story. We're done here. Well, but for me in a fighting game, it's perfect because I can't play them. I lack all ability to play any sort of like except for Smash, because Smash is a little weird and
Well,
different.
easy.
But
Like, the pickup, it's
any
super
of
fast.
the other ones, I can't do it. I can't play them.
But hold
Yeah.
on. Your reasoning has always been because you can't remember the cheat
Yes,
codes,
it's
right?
a
You're not
game
very
of
good.
cheat
Okay,
codes, and I
so
can't do all this up, left, B. Fuck.
I wanted
no.
to bring this up. This actually just came across my desk. Came to my attention. You no longer have to necessarily remember cheat codes. Now for 99 cents, you can get 5 easy fatalities. So you no longer have to remember cheat codes. You just
Yeah, but
pay a little money.
Aren't combos. Those are just finishers at the end to get like something to
Yeah,
happen.
but see, that
But
was
it's a
my
cheat code,
problem.
because think of it like this: without it, that never happens. You have to put in the cheat code to get the special thing. It's just a game with a trillion cheat codes.
See,
Right.
my problem always was, like, I'd play it, I'd do okay, and I'm not a huge fighting game guy, but I'd get to the end and I'd be like, oh, I want to do something cool, and I'd be like, flick. And the guy would just be like, ugh. I'm like, damn it. So now...
Or you always had the one friend who would just find the move that for whatever reason spams across the whole fucking screen, and then they just spam that. And they're like, you suck, bro. Do something. Do something.
yeah, that cheap ass
something.
combo that never actually ends.
Yes. Oh, and there's always
mean
just
basically
one.
Maxi.
There's always one.
Well, no, there was... So, for Mortal Kombat, there's that Raiden where he just, like, yells nonsensical things at you, like...
Yeah, and he flies
How
He just throws fucking his hat at you over and over again, and then
Oh,
lightning hits you,
no,
and then
it's
you
the
get
one where
thrown.
he, like,
flies
pushes you
across
across
the
the
screen.
screen.
Oh, that's right. That move.
And
Or,
I don't
or
know
in
what...
3, there was Shiva, who you just jumped off the screen and landed
Oh,
on
you
them.
stomped on
Oh, yeah,
people?
that move.
Yeah. You like
Obnoxious.
you went full like not Malcolm X, American History X on him. And it
Yeah,
was
pretty
just, like,
much.
just curb
So
stomp.
neither of
him.
you guys have actually played the game, though, right?
No, but
Okay.
what we were talking about was Devin didn't know that it had a plot
Yeah, no, there's a plot in Mortal Kombat.
Why?
Because
every fighting game has a plot. Street Fighter has a plot.
they all do.
What the fuck is the plot to Street Fighter?
So
Have
like
you watched any of the animated things, like the movies or anything?
yeah, they
Those
have
don't
legit
count.
like anime.
They're based off of the
no,
lore and the
I
characters and the
realize
story.
that there is usually a vague plot of like, there's a tournament, and then like flavor text. But Mortal Kombat has like a plot.
No,
there are
so does
things
Street Fighter.
happening.
That's what we're getting at. So does
So like Street Fighter has a full like anime that is
That doesn't
Oh.
count. I'm talking about just the continuity of the
No.
games.
So the anime basically plays out the continuity of the games for Street Fighter, at least. But yeah, Mortal Kombat's had a plot forever. It's all about like elder gods and different realms, and the tournament is how all these realms
see, that
decide
much I
who
get.
gets
That's
to take
all
over.
just flavor text to the tournament to me. The whole like, oh, but if one side wins, we all die. It's all just, it doesn't matter. It's phlebotinum. It's just like plot fuel to justify your tournament. But there's so much happening in this new one where like a guy comes back from the dead and resurrects an army from the dead and takes over a tower, and the main characters have to like get their kids and train them up, and then they go back to this world to like take over this tower that this guy has built. But it's apparently just a series of like one-off one-on-one fights like in anime. There's so much more plot than I realized these games had.
Right.
Because honestly, I thought it was just tournament phlebotinum.
No. At one point, like Liu Kang's a zombie. I'm not even
That's
joking.
this one. He's a zombie in this.
No, well, maybe he's still a zombie, but like
He's
they originally,
been a zombie?
yeah, like they
He's
killed
been a
him
zombie,
like
I think, for a couple of games.
3 games ago, and they're like they literally distract him and come up behind him, just like crack his neck.
Does
It's
Tekken have a plot?
yes. Oh my god,
Yes, it does, but I don't actually know it.
I don't know it, but yeah, it does. It's a crazy plot, very JRPG plot. Just saying.
The only one I can think of that doesn't have a huge, like, really immersive plot is Smash Brothers. And for what I understand,
Because
that's more
Smash
like...
Brothers had an arcade mode, at least for the Wii version, or a single-player mode. There's a campaign.
Okay.
There is a campaign
No,
in
it had
Smash
a
Brothers.
plot.
Right.
It was don't masturbate because your hand's gonna go large.
Well, from what I understand of the story arc by Smash Brothers is that it's about kind of playing with your toys. Is as far as I understand is how it's put together. It's like
Well,
you know a
in the
kid
Wii
playing with
one-
his toys.
In the Wii one, there's none of that. It's just your characters are fighting in the tournament, and then a bunch of like bad dudes show up, and they're like clones of you. and
Well,
you're
no,
trying
but
to
my
take
point
them
is
on.
that the premise of the game and the reason why it works the way it does is just it's the concept of these toys are something you grew up with, and it's just your imagination as you play with them. Kind
So
of thing.
basically, it's you
That's all it
sitting and
is.
going,
Yeah. And that's why
I
the
would play
pluses are
that
the
game.
hands.
Cell phone versus Doritos. I'm all about it.
Cell phone versus Doritos.
Actually, it was Halls, but they're not paying us, so I'm not showing the logo.
Yeah, fuck them. We're going with Doritos.
They're not paying us either.
But it's more likely that they will.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah, that's true.
But in that fight, my phone would win. I'm just gonna say that.
Ooh, throw down. I'll snap.
Is this because your phone is a smartphone?
Oh,
smarter
it's
than the
super
Doritos?
smart, bro.
The Doritos
No,
are like
dude,
super
them halls
broy.
are pretty smart too, though. They can fix your nose and shit. That's not easy.
Oh, okay. They're,
They're
like
like
technicians.
doctors.
No, actually, they don't really
Doctors.
fix. It's more of a cover up, man.
Well,
Well, all right. So, a different kind of side note. And I haven't read the article. Just the headline made me laugh out loud. Netflix makes Daredevil accessible to the blind.
Oh no, I was gonna bring that up because it popped into my feed like between work and here, and I love the irony of that headline.
but
Well,
is
so
that
apparently
really,
there's been a push for this for a while. Is a thing, but this was one of those situations where basically because of a specific show, I think the irony just sort of hit them enough to where like, okay, well,
Yeah.
we'll start doing this because it's something that's been happening for a while, from what I understand.
So,
Because
so
a lot of
what
things, like, BBC
are they actually doing to make Daredevil accessible to blind?
So what it is basically there's an audio stream that goes alongside the parts of the show that aren't exactly easy to hear. So like,
So
for
it's
example,
like, pow!
No,
Because
no,
no,
it's like a
that's
guy
not
who's
what
like
happened.
he's punching him. All right, now he's kicking him. Oh shit! No, he just got hit. Okay.
They
No,
got
he's fine.
they got Ben Stein just like, and then he picks up the stick.
Oh, even better would be if they got Morgan Freeman like, and then he kept punching the man over and over again.
I'm gonna get a latte.
It'll be great. I mean, that's
So,
interesting though. I guess.
Have
that's
you guys
cool.
actually checked out Daredevil?
Yeah, I watched.
yeah, no, I also
6 or
watched it.
7
I've watched about
episodes.
6 episodes now, 5 or
Yeah.
6.
You're right where I am.
Actually, this is a good way to bring it up. I did want to talk a bit about it. You know, if you guys
Yeah, I haven't had a chance to watch it yet.
you haven't at all.
No, I've
it's-
been doing my army stuff this week.
I'm actually kind of happy with it. I was surprised. Like I was thinking it was going to be kind of shitty, but no, I'm pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, it doesn't really hold back. It totally ignores the fact that Marvel is in front of its name, and it's not all like happy. Because
Right.
I mean, like Iron Man has really uplifty beats. Captain America has really uplifty beats. Yeah, no, not really.
Not yeah.
There's a couple of funny
about not having.
bits. You know,
Actually, to be
characters
fair,
make jokes.
the latest Captain America was a lot less happy bubbly.
Less, but
It
it
was
still
more
there.
stabby.
It had moments of that. This show just, somebody throws out a one-liner and it's funny, but nobody's just like, tee-hee! There's none of that. It's just people getting the shit kicked out of them. And
So you're
stabbed.
saying it's dark and gritty? Ah?
Yeah, I mean, I guess.
It's dark and gritty from a company who hasn't been doing dark and gritty.
Okay. Okay, I just wanted to bring that up because I know every time
It's
DC
not-
does it, we're all like,
it's not
"Brr."
cut and paste. No, but that's the thing is they're going, oh yeah, you guys did that dark and gritty. We can. We don't rely on fucking raccoons with foul mouths and rocket launchers.
Right.
We can
they're
do dark
cool.
and gritty and serious.
Yeah.
So we can hit you on both levels. Now DC needs to do something on the side of like Guardians.
Yeah,
of the
maybe this will
Galaxy.
prompt them to do that since they've been kind of in this thing that we're not going to do anything Marvel does, and now Marvel's done something that they've been doing.
Yeah,
so maybe
they're like,
they'll
yeah,
actually take
we're
time.
not afraid to go on your territory because we know we can hold our own against
Right.
you.
And then maybe there'll be a fun thing that comes out of that. Maybe we'll see more
really
of it.
curious to see what's going to happen with AKA Jessica Jones now.
As in,
So remember, Daredevil is going to be part of 4 series that will,
Right.
after a while, combine into a single series called The Defenders.
That's
Okay?
right, that's right, yeah,
and
yeah.
this is going to be Daredevil, then Jessica Jones, then I believe Luke Cage, and then Iron Fist. So AKA Jessica Jones is the next one. It stars... God, I can't remember her name. Kristen Ritter. She was the girl from Don't Trust the Bitch in Apartment 13. I think
Yeah,
it's
yeah, yeah.
13. But her, she's great. I actually love her, and she'll do really great in this role. My question is more around. I wonder if they're going to do Jessica Jones because she's a little more super than the rest of the group. She has super strength. She's a little faster. I think she's like telekinesis.
Right.
But like she's super. You know what I mean? Luke
Well-
Cage just has like bulletproof skin and is strong, kind of super. Iron Fist has, monk techniques that allow him with, extra good kung fu and he can punch through walls and shit. She's the only one who's like, no, superpowers. So I'm
Right.
wondering if they're going to do her with superpowers or
Well-
if this is going to be like a science thing.
So
I mean, I don't
far-
see why they wouldn't, do that.
Yeah, so far Marvel hasn't really been afraid to, at least on their TV shows, to pull the powers thing away. I know Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. started without him, but it built up to it, and I believe
Right.
the most recent season, they're actually showing a little bit more of supers.
Well, I'm still on the first season because that show's really slow for me. But they
Yeah.
did introduce Deathlock, which was great.
Well, I mean, so
Yes.
there was
And
a
he
lot
was
of
very
reasoning
techy.
behind that, though. I mean, the whole situation with the reveal that they were going for simultaneously really limited what they were doing, from what I understand. So, like, after that first season, it gets a lot better. I've actually watched the first section of the second season enough to go, yeah, it's much better after.
I'm still chugging through it, so we'll see. But yeah, and the other thing that we finally got a sneak peek of just today, I think, David Tennant is going to be the villain in AKA Jessica Jones, Purple Man, and we got our first
We
look
knew
at
that.
him.
We
We
knew
knew
that.
that, but we got our first look at him.
Okay, so is he
You got a
looking...
picture for us?
I can get a picture of Purple Man up. So if you're a weirdo and somehow a big fan of Purple Man, hold on, let me go to my site because I think that's where should I pimp off the guys I always go to for my comic news? I mean, I guess I should, right?
Yeah, why not?
Why not?
So I'm a big Comic Vine fan. I don't know if anybody else is, but that's who I go to is Comic Vine. And where is their bit on this? There we go, Purple Man, David Tennant. Yes. Let's let that picture load up, and I'm gonna get this into OBS right quick.
So while you guys are looking that up, also casting news. Did you guys hear the new X-Men Apocalypse cast?
Nope. I don't really follow the X-Men right now.
So they've announced two big ones.
I heard who it was, and as cool as it is, fuck, go to hell.
Oh come on,
hell.
you're just bitter. Just bear with.
I'm not even
So-
gonna. Honestly, I'm not gonna see this movie. No matter
Just
who's
on
in it, no
principle?
matter how. Yeah. No, not on principle. Because I've watched how many other movies of theirs suck. Why the fuck would I sit through this one? Why?
Yeah, I'm in the
anyways,
same boat.
Well, I will watch it. I will probably talk about it here. I watch a lot of things that you guys deem unworthy.
It's
Well,
not about
I mean,
being
they
unworthy.
just
it's
are
about
unworthy.
being consistently disappointed. It's about honestly not wanting to spend like. It's like
Oh my
if you
God.
showed up to a show and every week they kicked you in the nuts. Why would you keep fucking going back? There we
Oh,
go.
dude,
Hold
if
on.
that was the
there's
case,
there's the first image of Tenet as Purple Man. So
I wouldn't go outside if that was the case. I just if you're consistently disappointed and be like, oh fuck that, I'm not getting out today. But anyway, so Olivia Munn they cast as Psylocke, which they
Okay,
try to
that's
do,
be interesting.
which they try to do
that's actually
Psylocke
really good casting.
4. Yeah, she looks a lot like her, and Olivia Munn is, you know.
But the movie's still going to be ass.
Thanks.
So, anyways, this is
It'll be
what David
assy.
Tennant's going to look like as Purple Man. So, the original Purple Man wasn't just a dude in a purple suit. He had purple skin, hence the name Purple Man. Because honestly, he has a supervillain name anyways.
What is it?
Okay.
Hold on, I have
It's a
to...
Purple Man.
Hold on. I have
Yeah,
to take
dude,
that
Purple
down
Man's
and look
his
up what it
villain name.
is. Because I don't actually remember his name, but I was reading it earlier and I was like, why the fuck? Okay, so his name is Kilgrave. Like, that's his actual last name. The character's name is Kilgrave.
Okay.
Okay.
Why would you change your name to Purple Man?
Yeah, Kilgrave is a lot more metal.
Your fucking name is actually Kilgrave.
That just sounds like a great villain name. Just keep that one. So I do want to bring up a
Oh,
question
sorry,
we have posed in.
Zebediah Kilgrave.
Even more villainy, dude. Like a name like
he
that.
goes by Purple Man just because his skin's purple. So in this
Hey, I
one,
guess.
he always wears a purple suit.
So we have a question in chat that I'm actually really curious about. Do you know when the release date for the next Netflix show in the quadrilogy or what it is going to be?
AKA Jessica Jones is supposed to be out this December.
Okay, so end of the year. Cool.
I don't know if they've done an exact date for it, but yeah, it's this December sometime.
I'll be
And
excited.
I don't believe there's any word on Luke Cage or Iron Fist. I don't even think they've cast Iron Fist yet, at least as far as I've seen. Don't know.
Yeah.
So
Well, either way,
they're
like
actually,
I'm excited to see more of the stuff because I mean, all of the Netflix shows that I've seen personally, I haven't disliked any of them.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't really gotten deep into a House of Cards yet, but I've enjoyed what I've seen there. I'm really enjoying what I see with Daredevil. Every one of their originals. Oh, and Orange is the New Black was fantastic from what
I
I've seen
love
so
that
far.
show.
Like all their shows are really good, so I'm glad to see them picking up some of the comic stuff because hey, they do a good job.
I don't know what the
So-
release order is going to be, but I know for a fact that Iron Fist is filming before Luke Cage.
Oh, is
so
it really?
so I imagine it's gonna. Yeah. So it looks like
They
Jessica
gotta
Jones.
push Luke Cage to last, man.
They
Fuck. I'm sorry,
They-
but Luke Cage is a lot more well known than Iron Fist.
Yeah, but it could have. It probably has something to do with the actor and their timing and all that,
So
right?
he's
And their-
cast then?
I believe they announced it. I don't want to say for sure, but Jessica Jones started filming in February, so it'll be out later this year. Then they're filming Iron Fist, and then after that, once Iron Fist is finished filming, they're gonna start filming Luke Cage. That's what I know for sure.
That's uncalled for. That is so uncalled for.
All right, no, and it's not because he's black. It's
You
probably
don't
'cause-
know. They're all
Well,
sitting
we were gonna
around
say
there
we
it
like,
don't
is.
know either.
darkest.
He's not black. He's a mutant.
Jesus.
different.
He's not a mutant though. Marvel has
Really?
well, I guess Marvel doesn't own the mutants, so he can be a mutant, but he is not a mutant.
Oh, okay. I thought
He
he
was
was.
experimented on in prison.
I'm not sure if that's any better.
He was wrongfully accused and sent
like
to
in
prison
the, like in the butt.
and signed up for genetic testing.
All right.
It's kind of like that arrow I shot into the Yeti's ass.
Why would you do
Oh,
that?
thanks. All right. So
Well,
the
it's going to
other-
lead into something I talk about later, but we'll move on with
other
what you got.
casting news, and I sent you the link. I don't know if you got a pickup, but
I did,
Ben
yeah,
Hardy
sorry.
was cast as Angel.
Yeah, he's
And,
the guy who already played Angel.
Hmm?
Ben Hardy, that's the guy who already played Angel.
In what other film?
The only one Angel was in.
No. Completely different guy.
You sure?
Yeah,
Who
you're
the fuck
talking
was
about the
Ben
guy.
Hardy?
You were talking about the guy who was in also in Punisher. He's a really good.
Yeah, character actor. Is that not?
Yeah.
Oh, I guess it's not. I looked him up.
It's not.
Who the fuck
But
is
anyways,
this kid?
newcomer to the scene, but they released a picture of the new Archangel or
Well,
Angel.
his back.
Yeah, but like they showed the wings because that was one of the biggest complaints people had from the last one. Other than it was shitty, according to you. I just wanted to head you off there.
Horrid.
But anyways, it looks kind of badass. He looks a lot more like the Archangel persona than just the fluffy wings.
Hold on. people complained about the wings in the last one because Angel did have wings like he did in the last one.
Yeah, but everybody was complaining that they didn't get to see like the cool like knife wings that
Only
he
gets
had.
metal wings because of Apocalypse. They
Yeah.
literally couldn't do that until now. That's
Well,
one thing they did correct.
but
But
they're-
they shouldn't
they're-
have had it in the last
And they're
one.
actually doing it.
They are
so-
putting it in, which is good.
You're just so negative about this film.
Have you seen the other 5?
I have.
Name
I'm
one
not-
that
I-
wasn't like, oh, I guess it was alright. No, they're
Oh,
all shit.
No. The first X-Men was great.
Great
It was
is a
okay at best.
stretch.
No. Okay, so you have to compare it to the other shit that was out at the time. All right, if you're comparing it to shit that's out now, sure, you're like, film was all right. But at the time, like, I was so stoked to see X-Men on the big screen. It was great for what it was then. Yes, films have come out since and
Even
eclipsed
when
it.
I saw that back then, I walked out of that movie and I went, it's okay. It leaves a lot
Okay
of room
at
to do
best.
something better in the second one. And then the second one happened and I went,
Well, that's just they disappointed you. Plus, you were a very ornery child, so
no, it's not like I haven't seen them ever again. They're consistently terrible.
Right.
I'd still say the first one was great.
First Class I even liked when I first saw it, and then just something about like the second and third time, I just started shredding these fucking movies in my head, and I couldn't stop. They're horrible.
Well, I think it's because, at least for me, the original X-Men series is one of my like big comic draws, and for me, it was one of those. I watched it as an animated series. I'm not gonna lie, just because I didn't have the money for comics, and I really technically don't. Well, now I guess now I do, but back then we didn't have the money for comics, so I didn't have the chance to buy them. But when the show was out, I watched it, and one of the things that I really enjoyed about that show was that it had that really awesome coming of age aspects of it that really, as a kid, really called out to me in a lot of great ways. So I got really into the aspects of what it means to be like that, and what it means to sort of like be somebody who's outside of the norm, and that's a really really awesome lesson you can learn from something like that. And I don't feel like any of their movies has touched on that like at all.
No, not really.
And that really bugs me out because I actually really got into the show and the comics and all that stuff because of that.
They've actually
So that's
mostly
my-
been cheesy love stories.
Right, and that's not interesting to me.
yeah, and it's something that I was talking in the chat here, but for me, X-Men was a breath of fresh air in a nerd way, right? Because at the time, like right now, we're like in the nerd mecca. Everything
I
that
would
we are
say the
into is
opposite,
popular.
What makes it a nerd mecca right now is we're getting comic book movies being done like comic book
Right.
movies. They have these alternating tones and characters are over the top. What you were getting back then, and I would even go so far as to say there's a lot of this in the old Spider-Man, is you got a generic action movie with a comic book skin thrown over the top of it.
Yeah,
We
that's
were
what I was gonna
calling
say.
it X-Men, but
Yep.
really you could have not called it X-Men and just tweak things slightly, and it would have just been generic action movie number 3. Like
I don't know if we can go.
didn't matter.
I don't know if we can go that far. I mean, when you're talking about some of the Bonds, like the Pierce Brosnan the later ones he did, you can definitely say that. But with X-Men, no, it was too the IP is too like general. Or sorry, not general, too specific. I mean, like they couldn't have just been like, oh, they're just.
There are tons of iterations of the X-Men out there, and there are plenty that are movie friendly. The whole Ultimate Universe was designed to be movie friendly.
No, what I'm saying is that the movie that they made wasn't generic because the fact that these characters were in it.
No, but that's the problem, is they only kind of did the characters, and they made it really generic. None of the characters were actually done. Hell, that's not even... if you want to get really picky, that's not even the original X-Men.
No, it's not. You need
Yeah.
Angel and like Banshee, right?
Yeah, and Beast doesn't have fur, and there's
Yeah.
no Wolverine.
Yeah.
It's Iceman,
Ice-
Angel, Beast, Cyclops, Jean Grey.
I still don't
Believe that's
100% understand why Wolverine became the favorite character. I've never gotten.
He's
it.
always been somebody that I really enjoyed personally, but I was also really
I
short
never
back
got
then.
the appeal to him either, though.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
like
Tell us.
I think at least for the case with the movies, it's because what's his name? Because I suck at names. Did a really good job
Hugh
with his
Jackman
role.
was probably the
Yeah, Hugh
best that they
Jackman.
pulled out.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
even
no,
though he's
sorry,
kind of tall for
Patrick
being
Stewart and Ian
Wolverine, but
McKellen, those three.
right. Exactly. That's one of the reasons why I can't hate that original X-Men movie is because those cast members were like spot on. Like whenever I think
Okay.
about
So-
Professor X,
Not
So
all
what-
of them. No.
no, that's why I said those three.
Okay.
The one thing that I do want to say is Ian McKellen did an amazing job acting it, but for me, Magneto was always a lot. He had a lot more of a presence, and that's one thing Ian did not have.
Good old Ian McKellen.
Like he had the acting finesse and he got the character down, but like his looks and just how imposing the character was in the comics, like when he walks into a room, he shuts people the fuck up, except for obviously like Xavier. But that was one thing that I felt Ian never really brought to the table, at least in that character he did.
Yeah, he was more of the calculaty kind of villain and a power-driven villain as opposed to just like a powerful villain. I'll give you that. But again, like I said, a lot of the characters aren't done to how they're actually supposed to be done. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like there were some they did really well. There were some who just looked kind of funny, but that newest one where they switched around Shadowcat's powers, that was just weird.
Oh,
Right?
it's the future.
confused
She
the hell out
grows
of me.
into it.
Yeah, she goes from walking through walls to brain time transfer.
Yeah, dude, it's a whole thing. Dude, puberty kicked her ass.
I just and especially in a series like X-Men where Marvel has their encyclopedia, X-Men has their encyclopedia.
Yeah.
There are that many characters. You had to take a known one. You couldn't have just flipped through the book, picked an obscure one, because the average fan doesn't know it's an obscure reference and doesn't care. It's a cool thing. Whatever. It's plot fuel. And the nerds all get to go, it's a thing that nobody but us knows. So
And then they get to feel special,
you
yeah.
Oh,
win,
they could have
and
even
it takes
created a
5
new
minutes
one.
of flipping through a book.
A book
could've
that's
even
already
created
been
a new
published
one.
and
Yeah.
together.
Yeah.
So why don't we go ahead and move on? I hear you have another bit of comic-y related stuff to talk about, Eddie.
So sort of. So did you guys check out the new Ant-Man trailer?
I have not,
haven't
but I am
seen it
curious
yet.
about it.
Okay, so I
put it
linked
right
you
now.
guys, and then you should go check it out. They obviously have it on YouTube.
Right.
I'm actually excited about Ant-Man now. Like the last trailer, it was kind of a teaser, right? I knew nothing about the plot, and I gave zero fucks about Paul Rudd. And this one explains the story a little bit more, and really talks about like what are the stakes, and you get to see some really cool of the fighting. Where Ant-Man goes from being really big to really small, punches a dude. It's a little wacky where
Goes into a dude,
well, yeah,
puts a fist through the guy afterwards.
No, the best part, well, not the best part, but one of the funnier parts is you see him punch a guy, and then it zooms out because he's super tiny, and the guy like flies back, and I'm like, okay, that's a little ridiculous.
Well, the whole thing with Ant-Man is he shrinks down, but he retains all of his strength.
Yeah.
No, I understand that. I understand how the power is, but the way that it's displayed, it's almost like those really bad kung fu movies where someone punches, misses, but the guy still goes, ugh, and flies back, right? So I had a good time with it. You guys should check it out. I'm actually excited for this. I've never been a fan of Ant-Man, in the sense where he always just seemed kind of a dick in the Avengers.
Well, but that's kind of what made Ant-Man great, is he was Tony Stark, where Tony Stark was like, well, my problems are I'm a bit of an alcoholic. And, like, it did cause problems, but, like, Hank Pym's problems were that he's a fucking monster of a human being. The man ends up beating his wife and putting her into a coma, and when she ends up, she's Sprite, so when she ends up shrinking down, he just sicks a bunch of ants on her to rip her apart. And, like, she survives, but she's, like, half dead.
Yep.
Because he got
he's fucked up and
drunk
shit,
and angry, and he's a horrid human being. And it was just kind of nice because, like, not all people with good morals and values are necessarily good people. You know what I mean? Like, yes, he's a hero. He's not out murdering and stealing with his powers, but he's still kind of a dick in his home life.
So basically, you're saying he's Tony Stark without the charisma.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Yeah.
Like, he's what happens when you're not super cool. He's what happens
Right.
when the people don't love you. And it's just kind of great to see.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think
they're gonna
thumbed
do
through
that
the
in this
trailer
movie
real
at all.
fast, and I'll say that does look kind of interesting. I mean, I'm curious to see that one because of all the stuff that buzz that kind of happened around it. I don't have a whole lot of high hopes anymore, but I'm still interested to see what it comes out like. And that trailer doesn't make it look too bad, so can't complain. I mean, again, because I truly think that Ant-Man's not going to be the Marvel fail for the year or whatever, the next Marvel.
No.
failure. 'Cause, like, I've
for me,
been.
it was a big enigma.
Well, right. So the thing that's the thing, but like we talked about this on our end of the year stream a little bit, or our end of the year cast about like I don't think Ant-Man's going to be Marvel's first big fuck up because I think they're going to have one sometime in the near future, sometime this year, and I suspect it's going to be one of the bigger named things. Honestly,
You think?
like my personal feeling is like that. I don't know which one it's going to be or what, but I don't think it's going to be Ant-Man, which is surprising considering how much crap I've kind of heard about the kerfuffle happening in behind the scenes and shit.
I'm just
So-
hoping it's not the Inhumans.
Yeah, that would kind
I
of suck.
really want to see the Inhumans.
Inhumans is gonna have a weird tone to it.
Inhumans, I almost feel like the Inhumans are gonna have to be a little bit more surreal, a little bit more kind of Hellboyish when it came to their kind of wacky, like strange and bizarre versus straight up campy, gritty superhero-y. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's gonna be weird.
But I'm looking forward to it. So I saw the trailer, super awesome. I was excited about it.
So
All right.
2 more bits of comic-y stuff, actually.
Alright.
Oh man.
Have you guys
Lot of
seen the
comics.
trailer for Justice League Gods and Monsters?
Nope.
So Bruce Timm, the guy who did, Batman the Animated Series and Justice
okay.
League and Justice League Unlimited, the guy who did the art for all of that, is doing a new, one of like the straight-to-video DC movies, like Son of Bat or Under the Red Hood
Yeah, that
or any
sounds
of those
great.
ones. So this one is called Batman Gods and Justice League Gods and Monsters. It's an alternate universe, and in this one, Superman is actually the son of Zod.
Okay.
Is sent down to Earth and raised in Mexico. He's not raised in America this time, right? But he still hates his dad because his dad destroyed his planet. So now he's kind of like a darker superhero who's like, nobody's destroying this planet, but I haven't decided what my role really is in it yet. Batman is Steve Trevor, I think? No, that's the DC guy. Batman's actually Man-Bat in this one. He's a fucking vampire.
Oh, cool.
And he's being voiced by the guy who played Dexter. And
Not a bad
Wonder
choice.
Woman isn't even an Amazonian. She's the wife of Orion, one of the new gods.
I mean, from what I've seen of his other works, I'm excited to see this one because I haven't been disappointed in any other things that I've seen of him as. So we'll see how it is. When's the release date for it, or do you know?
Not sure. I just saw the
Okay.
trailer today. So,
Oh, cool.
and then the other bit that got leaked today. So, DC Comics is going through this whole convergence arc that's going to end the New 52 and do a bunch of stuff, and I don't care anymore. But one of the things that's going to come out of that is, I think, a one-shot called Divergent that shows off like
You mean like the book?
it's Marvel doing Divergent.
So it's going to be superheroes who decide between certain cliques that they want to be a part of, and they
That's
each have
what
their
it
own
is.
individual.
Yeah, they did that. It was called Civil War.
Right.
So the teasers for this one showed off Batman in a big old mech suit, and a page got leaked today where it showed who's actually in the mech suit, and it's Commissioner Gordon is now Batman in a giant Batman mech suit, and he's
That's
a
kinda
ginge
awesome.
with no mustache.
Oh, so he's basically me without a mustache?
He looks like Guy Gardner to me, but yeah. So there's going to be a thing where Commissioner Gordon is Robot Batman.
Do you happen to have a link that we can pass around for anybody who's currently checking out the show via our awesome chat rooms?
Robot Batman?
Yeah, well, for that entire, you said the trailer dropped.
Oh yeah, hold on. I'll get you Robot Batman, and then I'll get you a link for
Vampire Batman.
Vampire Batman, I guess.
Yeah, but the point is that I figure we might as well, toss it out there like I did
Yeah,
for the
yeah.
So,
trailer.
and to reiterate, is this a TV show or is this a new movie?
That's
It's
a comic.
a straight to
It's a
movie.
one-shot comic. Oh no, the Gods and Monsters. It's
Yeah.
gonna be one of the. It's like all their other animated ones they do. It's not hitting
Right.
theaters or anything.
It's a straight to video
okay.
movie, and then he's also talking about a comic was the next bit.
Yeah,
that's
but man,
what it's
DC can do some good animated movies.
coming.
Yeah, dude, their
animated
animated
movies are
fucking
great.
universe
It's
is
the
amazing.
Best thing they're doing.
Without a
It's
question.
insane.
I guess part of it's also because what's her name, the voice actress manager chick. She's really good, and she's done a lot of these animated films, from what I understand. I can't remember her name off the top of my head, but she's really good. Did a lot of things like the Animaniacs too, I think. You know what I'm talking about, Devin, just not by name.
Yeah, I never remember her name. Something Romano.
Yeah, it's something Romano or Romana. or
Ray.
something. I can look it up later if you guys want. But yeah, she's really good, and she's been a director or a voice director for a lot of these movies, and she's really fucking good. She is really good.
So, I know you guys don't really care, but the new expansion for Destiny was announced.
No, I actually do have a couple things I'd love to say about that.
Oh man,
So go ahead and talk about this.
I'm excited to see this. The video. It always makes me sad that the videos they release are prettier than the cutscenes, but it's looking pretty good. Like everyone kind of guessed the story, and if you haven't seen the trailer, I guess plug your ears if you don't want to know. But basically, in the game, the Queen of the Rift, which is this area past the asteroid belt where the different race lives. Anyways, she has some of the Fallen, which are one of the enemies, as her like entourage. They're her guards and stuff, and basically it tells the story of how she went to war with them, spared their lives, and brought them into the fold, and they betrayed her, killed a bunch of her people. So now she's opening the rift, and she's offering all kinds of crazy bounties to take out this faction of the Fallen. So she's like, you're now welcomed into my kingdom, and the riches of my kingdom are available to you. Go forth and kill these beasts. And it's looking like it's going to be pretty cool. So when it comes out, it's coming out May 19th. And now that I've got my console capture card, I'm definitely going to be streaming that for you guys.
Oh, yay. We're excited.
Not for you guys. Fuck you guys. For the audience.
For anybody who doesn't know, Devin and I both don't give flying fucks about this game, or really Bungie in general at this point. But I did want to say a couple of things about this, because what amused me mostly is that they also announced there's not going to be a raid involved with this expansion or pack, or whatever the hell it is. And that surprises me, because they need that content. Like that's like the biggest complaint that everybody has on Destiny, is there's not a lot of content. And the fact that they're not putting out another raid is kind of surprising, considering.
So it depends, though, because the way that what they could do, and I don't know, this is all just speculation, right? No rumors that I know of. But what they can do is, instead of adding a raid, what they can do is they can add a tournament format instead of just a normal
I saw something
PvP.
like that, but still,
Yes.
I feel like they could use that kind of raid content and stuff like that, and I'm just surprised they're not using this as an excuse to push out another one.
So
Maybe
they've
they're trying to
got
push it earlier or something,
So the
but
thing is that
still.
they've got two major raids already, like two major raids, and they have two different modes for them. I'm not defending them, because I definitely think they need more content.
Well,
I
I mean,
actually stopped playing for a
A good
while.
example of what I mean is that there were two different in-game zones for the original Guild Wars release before anything else was created for it. Like, the original release of that had two in-game zones that were really tough from the box. And apparently this one, there's now 3 raids or so total, or is it only 2? Like, because I legitimately don't know. How many raids does Destiny actually have right now?
It's got two
2 total?
but two total, but they have two different, like, there's normal mode and hard mode, and
Well, sure.
and
But my
the
point being
strategies.
that,
The one thing that I can say is the strategies are completely fucking different.
well, that's fine, but my
that.
Two
point is-
raids? Dude, DCU has like 40.
Well, that's kind of what I'm getting at, Devin, is that the original release of Guild Wars, when it first came out, had 2 in-game contents, if I recall
Yeah,
correctly.
but
Were
DCU's
in-game,
been
like-
around for a number of years.
I'm not talking about for things that have been around for a number of years. I'm talking about the original releases of these games. Usually have more raids than something Destiny has had, and that is, to me, is a glaring issue with the design choices of the game, and the fact that they don't use this as an exam or as a time to bring another one out just really baffles me. It's just kind of what I wanted to say about it, because even though the game might still have fun for those people who haven't had the MMO experience but enjoy their first persons, I feel like this is a good opportunity for them to do that, and they've skipped it, and that surprises me.
You know what? I'm not gonna defend them, because I definitely agree there needs to be a lot more content, and I just like I said, Destiny was great while the content lasted. I had a great time. The weapons were great. They like some of the special weapons actually were different enough to where it mattered which one you were using for different situations, right? And I honestly, like they do events and stuff a lot, but they focus on. It seems like they're focusing a lot on PvP, which I really don't give a shit about.
Well, I mean,
Destiny,
so
but-
for a first-person game, that makes sense, because it's so easy to make an arena-style fighter, or a larger scale battles or something like that. Because first-person shooters are good for PvP. I mean, I understand why the game has had as much buzz as it does. I don't remember who it was that first said this and kind of caught my idea or my eyes to it. But the fact is that the people that are interested in something like Destiny are mostly people who have not experienced what an MMO is like. And as a first MMO in the FPS range of games like that, this game has a lot of allure just because its core mechanics are very first person-y, as opposed to things like, say, Warframe, or core around sort of the flippies and all that sort of stuff. But the point is that I understand why there's a bit of allure here, and as a first-time MMO game, it's not surprising that they're having these issues. I just imagine that they would have looked at the other things that have happened in the past and have been created and used that to kind of, build a better game to start.
The game's been out for six to 8 months now.
Sure.
I thought it was July or August last year.
No, it was like October.
No, that's right. It was right after PAX, wasn't it? September.
Yeah. So it was like the beginning of October, end of September. Like I think it dropped September 30th or something like that. But anyways, so it's been out for six to 8 months, maybe 9 months. I may be off here, but anyways, the point is that it hasn't been out that long, and the more I played it, the more I realized that Destiny was an MMO for people who play Call of Duty.
That's exactly my point. That's exactly what I was saying.
Fortunately, it didn't. It underestimated how much the Call of Duty fans really just wanted to be Call of Duty guys.
Well, so that's kind of my point, is that for the people that are interested in playing a game that is kind of the merger of those two things, they didn't learn enough from the MMO side of it, and they learned less, or they went more towards the first-person shooter side of it, which I think is their biggest mistake. That's kind of what my point was in bringing that whole thing up. Is that
unfortunately, that's all they knew, right? So I think they took a stab at it, and I know they're planning Destiny 2, and I'm hoping that kind of they've learned their lesson.
I think they should have taken more of a World of Warcraft approach to it instead of making a new game.
Yeah, but not
the first game,
No, not everybody. Not everybody needs to be WoW. I think
I'm not saying everybody does need to be WoW. What I'm saying is,
like Devin's face, and he's just like, I have no idea what's going on.
Well, I'm just saying for a game
like
that,
any of these games, man. Not a fucking one of them.
They were planning Destiny 2 before they even really released Destiny 1. That is surprisingly stupid.
To be fair, though, it was the publisher at that point. Like, all those announcements, it was the publisher saying, oh, yeah, we'll definitely do it.
But my point is that
it seems to me more like they wanted to make a one-shot MMO.
Yeah.
It was a game, everybody came in, did all the stuff, and then you'd buy a new game in a year or two, just like a Halo franchise. They're trying to make the reuser or the redoable MMO. Instead of releasing expansions, you charge full price and release a whole other game.
You can't really do that with that kind of game, though. That's kind of what I'm saying. They're trying. I just hope it fails.
Depends. Maybe what they're trying to bring, and again, it's all speculation here, is maybe what they're trying to do is like, oh, all those features we couldn't fit in that first game, we got in the second game, and guess what? You get to bring your character in. If they do something like that, I could see a lot of people buying the second game.
I mean, fair enough. I'm just saying that I feel that's a mistake, and I think they should have looked more towards what the MMOs have done in this time. But why don't we move on? I think we've been talking about this for a little bit too long.
Sure. What is something I want to talk about?
Too long.
No, he's just been on it for quite a while, and I feel like we're just regurgitating the same stuff. But one of the things that I wanted to bring up is recently the game dropped yesterday, and I played it on stream, and I got to really enjoy it. But Titan Souls came out yesterday, and I've talked about this a little bit on the cast when it first was something that came up to my mind. But for anybody who wasn't there for that, or for you guys if you don't remember, Titan Souls was a Game Jam game developed in a situation where the setting, or the prompt, you will, is you only have one. And for any back knowledge for people who don't know, Game Jam's games are usually small independent teams. They've put together a game over a small period of time with a theme. And some of these games get really, really cool creations out of it, and they'll get pushed into more development. And so this particular one had enough clout behind it that they ended up making a full-sized game, and just recently came out. And the whole concept of the game is that it's kind of like Shadow of the Colossus, in the sense that you're in this big, vast world, and you're exploring the stuff and meeting these giant bosses, and all the fights are boss fights. None of these trash mobs or whatever. But the difference is that all the bosses have exactly 1 HP. You have 1 HP, and you only have 1 arrow. And the thing about that 1 arrow is that you have to retrieve it or pull it back to yourself, and literally you can't fire until you pick it back up. So the idea behind it is really just something fresh. You don't see something like that every day. And so playing it yesterday was really fun.
Yeah, I saw you play a little bit of it, and it looked I'm glad you're playing it, because I had to huck my keyboard through my fucking door, and if it didn't actually go through the door, I would have picked it up and slammed it into the door until it went through the fucking door.
It's a challenging game. It is really tough because one hit kills you. You don't have the luxury.
There were a lot of times where Steven would walk in and be like, "Here we go." Boom.
Bah!
Damn it.
my favorite moment on the stream. I had a couple of viewers at the time because I just started. I started finding the first boss, and it was like, okay, whatever. I kind of lost a little bit. I want to try this other door because you can kind of choose your destination. You don't have to play in any particular order. So I go to the second room. I'm looking at this thing. It looks kind of like the door's back side. I'm like, okay, I'll open this door, and I shoot the arrow at the thing. But it's actually a boss, and it's a block creature that just goes splat, and immediately the boss fight was over. It was like
So it wasn't a door, it was a creature?
It was a creature, and it smashed me the moment I shot it.
Awesome.
There is one thing.
One of my favorite things about it was it actually has a fairly entertaining soundtrack to it.
Oh, it's a great soundtrack.
Steven was up in the background. He was over on my second monitor while I was working on something on the monitor in front of me. So I would hear like damn it. Damn it! Like, we couldn't get more than a few seconds into a goddamn song before just... Damn it!
Yeah, pretty much. And because the game is really tough, and I enjoyed it muchly, except for there's one criticism I do have to give it. One thing I don't like is that the roll button and the run button are the same button, and it's the same action. So when you roll, you hold it and you continue on faster for the time, so you're running. And I feel that's the one thing I would probably change for the game, because other than that, it's a fantastically built system. Like, you've got a lot of mechanics that you have to learn about each of the fights, and like it feels very Monster Hunter-y in a lot of ways, because you're sitting like, where's the weak spot? Okay, I figured the weak spot out.
So
How do I
once
get
you
that
kill
moment?
it, is it dead? Or if you kill one, then go to the next one and die, does it come back?
No, it's dead. It's just dead.
Okay.
So, and that's what the other cool thing about it is, because the fights are tough. They really are. Like, he was just explaining how I die within seconds of doing anything. But what was really, really cool about it is that once you defeated that boss, like that one shot you got that killed it, you felt so fucking good about it, dude. The satisfaction was immense. You're just like,
were you ready to
yes!
like flip your desk?
Yeah, you really feel just like immensely good at the thing, because you figured it out and you've been able to like put this strategy together to defeat this thing, and then you pulled it off, and just like you feel really good about it.
So wait, you're basically playing what is it, the day after tomorrow? Like, what was it, the Tom Cruise movie where he just keeps dying?
Oh,
and
I know.
dying?
I actually mentioned that on stream. I was like, I wonder if this is like that movie, and every time I die, I remember it exactly as it was. Oh, that would suck.
That movie had its name officially changed.
Yes, it did.
It's not the name of that movie.
Right. I don't remember
in another
the official
country.
No.
Just period.
If you buy the DVD, they changed the name.
They re-released it in theaters as well, and
Yes.
and also changed the name for the DVD. Yes,
It is Live, Die, Repeat now. That is the name of the movie.
Which is just whatever.
Actually, I prefer that name. The name works better.
I feel like that name
I
should have
do
been
too,
from the
but
beginning.
I feel like that they shouldn't have done that. to
Edge
begin
of
with.
Tomorrow.
Yeah.
It was fucking Edge of Tomorrow.
But yeah, now it's Live, Die, Repeat.
Yeah. Either way, the point is that the game is really fun. I do recommend it. It's I think it's 14 right now. It came out yesterday. It's I even though I didn't finish it yesterday when I was streaming it, I streamed it for like 4-ish hours, and I feel like I was really close to finishing it. So it's a really fun game. Highly recommend it for anybody who likes a challenge. Definitely fun.
So I do want to bring up one game too that I started playing. So I started playing.
Continued.
Started playing
Oh, okay.
StarMade.
Okay, what the hell's that?
Okay, so I came across it because I was just looking for Steam sales and whatnot, and the easiest way for me to describe it, it's Minecraft in space. So you start off with
They already have that. It's called Terraria. Or not Terraria, sorry, Starbound.
Maybe this is called StarMade. Maybe it's a cheap knockoff. But you start with like blocks and you build a spaceship, and then you have to go and mine asteroids and fight pirates, and then you salvage all their shit to get more shit and build more shit. It's Minecraft in space, right?
Yeah, okay.
So it's a good game. I'm enjoying it. The cool part is you can do your own like sandboxy stuff at home, or they actually have servers you can join but you can export your game and the ships that you built to other people's servers if of course they allow that and keep it open to that. So you can build like a big massive fucking ship, or for most people out there on the internet, a fucking cock-shaped ship.
Yeah, probably a lot of
Well,
penis ships.
so no, this is a thing that I didn't realize this until I listened to a podcast with a game developer. Apparently, there's actually a metric that people often consider in game dev called the time to penis or time to cock. Like, no joke. And it's literally the amount of time when you create a game until somebody finds a way to create a penis into your game. Like, legitimately, people talk about this.
But anyway, so far I was having fun. I'm having fun with the game. I'm just playing sandboxy, trying to make sure everything works, and I'm figuring out that it's still an alpha, so there's definitely a bunch of quirks that you need to do. So I'm building this ship, and the tutorial is so fucking long that eventually I was just like, no, I'm sorry, skip. But what I didn't realize is that you can overload your core, and without your core, you can't build anything. So, I'm building this pew 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 ship, and all of a sudden, I just happened to put one extra laser cannon, and the whole screen just went poof. And I'm like, what just happened? And like, the core is just floating there and all burnt, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna get back in the ship, and poof again. I'm like, oh, well, I'm just gonna delete my sandbox and start this world over. But
I don't know. I mean,
Starmade is
so
a pretty
I
good.
kind of feel like it. Oh, neither of you two ever played Kingdom Hearts, did you?
I played a little bit. I've played probably 20
Oh, I know what you're talking about. The
Am I just
gummy
building
ships.
gummy ships?
Yeah,
You-
it's
the
a
gummy
lot
ships,
like that. Yes,
I would play an all gummy ship game.
it's a lot like that. Yeah. So we should definitely. Well, I can build a dedicated server and host it, and then we can get on there and build.
Servicing.
Yeah, boy.
How you doing?
Thing.
That's right.
But anyways, so one thing I did want to give an update on. I did the follow up for the Battlefield Hardline yesterday.
Yeah.
Did the streaming. So I actually got through 2 whole episodes. Right. One thing I have to say is, it's still definitely not a Battlefield game.
Right.
A lot of parts of it are like, the story is completely skippable. Like, I'm sitting here just chatting it up with Van, and I'm just like, I don't even have to listen to anything to know what's going on. And I called it. I was like, look, in this part, I'm gonna get attacked by an alligator. Trust me, I don't want to go there. And sure enough, it was part of an objective. I go there, fucking attacked by an alligator. I'm like, this isn't even. It's just.
So have
Fuck
you
this
played
game.
Are we
the
even
full
trying
race?
anymore?
Yeah. Huh?
'Cause I feel like that game's actually a racing game from all the trailers I've seen of
So
it.
actually, I
has
get
that
to
happened
do
yet?
some fan boat racing.
Oh my god.
You get on a fan boat and you fly. Yeah, you fly. You just kind of.
Yeah, you fly. You turn into Michael Jackson, who turns into a vehicle that flies and.
Well, it's a
Oh,
car or it's a spaceship.
Yeah.
Yeah. And a robot.
Yeah. Well, that's my point.
Yeah.
But anyways, I enjoyed it. I still think the mechanics of like telling people to freeze with your badge and getting more points for that is bullshit. The buttons aren't really intuitive, so instead of flashing my badge, I keep turning on my scanner because I'm an asshole. So instead of going,
All the other
freeze,
cops are like, you.
yeah, no, it's like instead of telling the criminals to freeze, I turn on my like little iPad doohickey and I'm pointing it at them and they're just probably looking at me. What's this motherfucker doing? Is he taking a picture of us? And they start shooting at me.
You're awesome.
I had fun. I'm not gonna lie. But it feels like I'm getting through episodes really fast. This game better have like 12 episodes because I'm already on episode 5. So yeah, I'm gonna be really sad. So yeah, that's my update on Hardline, and I'll be.
I mean, I won't be
streaming
surprised
again on
if the
Tuesday.
game's story is really short because it's meant to be a multiplayer game that has a
Yeah,
story somewhere.
I
So
know.
I'm just saying, if you get like a 5-chapter game, I'm not going to be surprised.
It happens.
So another thing I did want to bring up, which is not really related to this, but fuck it, I'm going to do it anyways. Did you guys hear about the
Yeah,
the
fuck
stuff
it.
going on? Yeah, right. The stuff going on with old games trying to be like kind of revitalized with fan-based server creations and stuff like that. And now there's basically the company is really trying to I think it's the EFF or it's the other way around. I don't know. One of the two companies is basically trying to repress these guys who are basically trying to make games like the old Star Wars Battlefront game or whatever it is accessible by creating servers.
I read about this. Yeah.
So I'm just really curious what you guys think about that because, you know, the argument against allowing players to do this and not being copyright infringement is that is the idea is that okay, so if you have a game you can no longer play because the servers no longer exist, like every game in existence now, is it really copyright infringement to create a server for people to enjoy that game continually? And then the other side of the argument is like, oh, you know, if people are doing that, it encourages hacking and piracy and blah 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 blah. And I'm just curious what you guys kind of feel about the whole situation and the whole like stance.
Sorry, if I paid for a game, but I can't use that game anymore, you can't expect me to not find a way to use the game. It's still, it's the same argument I have for emulators, to be honest. Like, yeah, I happen to still have an NES that works, and I bought a lot of these games back in the day, but that thing's not going to work forever, and I'm not going to be able to get another NES, and not all of these games are available on the fucking Wii network. So, yeah, I'm going to get an emulator for them, and I'm old games, because I never got to play Booger Man. I did get to play Booger Man, but say I'm fucking weird and I really want to play Booger Man.
I've never played Booger Man. Where
the fuck are you gonna find a Sega Genesis and a copy of Booger Man?
Yep,
it's insanity.
Well, it's not easy to do, and there are places you can do it. Retro gaming has had like a really big spurt recently, but
you know what I mean. There's always gonna be some bizarre gem that you're not gonna be able to find easy.
Right, whether it's rare or nobody has it.
If somebody would make it easy, I'd pay for it.
Well, then it's kind of like we were talking about before with the HBO stuff. You know, if you make it easy, people don't want to pirate it as much because they do enjoy those things and want to support it. But that's the thing. They no longer have servers. The companies don't exist.
In the case of what you're talking about, are people even charging to play on these servers?
No, of course not.
These are free servers for a game that you've already paid for.
Yes.
Get fucked.
I agree. So what about you, Eddie? I'm curious.
And beyond that, the reasoning that they gave is absolute bullshit. Everyone knows copyright law is retarded and antiquated and just dumb. But ultimately, though, is if we went by this law, like, you know, for books and way back when, we wouldn't be able to even have the classics. We wouldn't be able to. It's like them saying you can't reprint anything by Mark Twain because
Mark Twain can't do this anymore. You know, or whatever.
So maybe people, literature and games aren't necessarily the same, but to some people, games are more important than literature. I'm not saying whether that's right or wrong.
The thing is, the difference between a book, like if you buy a book and you have that book, you can read that book until you decide to burn that book or it gets broken or whatever. Yes, you can break a book apparently. With a game, if you buy a game right now, especially now in the age of the digital, like everything is being digitally distributed and all that kind of stuff, if the servers that game rely on for you to connect to the game and even play it, regardless of whether it's a single player game or not, as soon as that server disappears for whatever reason, company goes out of business or whatever, that game is literally just a piece of nothing.
Yeah.
It no longer has any value, and that is the most important distinction between something like books and this. Like books, it kind of makes a little bit more sense.
No,
this doesn't. Because the game no longer has the access. You can't do it anymore.
And nobody's making money, so where's the harm?
Like, I'm using books as an example with how ridiculous this is. And
I know. I'm just saying.
Their explanation was, because it encourages hacking. And I'm like, wait, your definition of hacking is completely off base here, right? Like, they're not breaking into your servers and stealing code from you to be able to run this game. What they're doing is that they're taking a restriction that you placed in your code and removing it. They are not affecting you in any way. So it's not necessarily hacking there. And honestly, the best way to learn, and a lot of the times when you're doing programming and stuff, is you're breaking down other pieces of code. That's where there's a huge like open source thing movement.
In some cases, yeah.
Yeah, it's like people are making things better by having people look at their code and change their code. So if you're just going to stop that altogether and call that hacking, then you're just stopping progress. And I think it's greed is what it is.
Yeah, well, it absolutely is.
Well, and it's greed.
Yeah, well, then that's the problem.
And it's greed of the worst kind because nobody's even taking money.
I use this a lot, but it's literally grabbing your ball and going home.
Yeah.
I don't get to play. Well, neither do any of you fucks. I'm out, right? Kind of deal.
So no,
I completely disagree. I think that if you're no longer making Mario like I understand that no one can make a new Mario game,
Right.
I'm okay with that. But I would go as far as saying that if an old Mario game is no longer sold, then making an emulator of it should be completely allowed under copyright laws.
Right, and that's actually what what they're trying to push for. They're trying to have for games especially an exception made in the copyright rule. If a game has been abandoned, which has its own definition, the game should be allowed for the community to do whatever they wish to it for the sake of keeping the game alive. Because the sad thing is, if they don't get this copyright change, it is possible that we will have games that literally stop existing, and some of those could be some of the most amazing games I've played. You know, imagine if actually one of the best examples of this would be a game that actually died relatively quickly after it came out. I think it was called Hellgate London, if I remember correctly.
Oh my god, I have that game.
Literally
I played
disappeared,
that game.
but it was actually pretty fucking cool.
Yeah,
but it
was
disappeared
a great
super
game.
fast. Right. So the thing is, like, that game literally just disappeared for all those people that bought it. And
It was
without something
the
like this,
launch
that
was
sucks.
really shitty. But
It
yeah,
was.
no, I pre-ordered it. It was. I've gone back and played it. I actually have it on my Alienware. It was a great game, and it's been revived.
Right. And I'm pretty sure it's been revived by the community, though, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's
Right.
Hellgate Japan is what they're calling it. Instead of Hellgate London, but yeah.
The point being that if you stop the allowing of this copyright change, it means that there will be some cases where games literally stop existing, and I don't like that concept at any way.
No.
Games that have been created, especially because all that work that goes into some of the games nowadays, especially, that's a lot of work just to have
It's the equivalent of buying a copy of Avengers, and then someday some dude walks up to your door and goes, "Hey, we don't sell that anymore. We're gonna need that back.
Yeah.
You can't have that anymore. It's not a thing. Give it back."
Right, or suddenly all of the discs
Or
in the
they
world
just
stop
smash
working
it
or whatever.
Or your discs poof into dust after.
Yeah, they
so long.
literally stop existing if you can't do this, and that to me is a sad thing to think of. And I really do hope that the push ends up going in favor of the communities that are creating these things, because there's some cool stuff.
I do too, but unfortunately, a lot of this lobbying and all of that is all driven by money, and people who are spending their own time to do this honestly don't
I'm not
always
so
have
sure
the
that's
money to fight
necessarily the
it.
case, though, because I mean, think about like net neutrality, for example. The money
Yeah,
is
but-
behind the other side of that.
But have you heard the latest on net neutrality?
I actually haven't.
So there's an association or some of telecom companies, Comcast, Verizon, and all that,
Right.
that have actually sued the FCC and
Okay.
are opposing it. So and I'm not really versed on how the law works, but apparently it has once the FCC makes some sort of ruling, people have like 60 to 90 days or something to oppose before it comes into effect or something. Something along those lines. And yeah, someone's opposing it. So until the courts can make a determination on this, it's going to sit in litigation. And then you've got
Right.
the corporations have money to make this litigation go for years. So in the meantime, they're stopping progress. And so it's the same kind of deal, man. And it makes me really bummed out, but
It's a sad thing, but my point is that there has been a push behind the side that doesn't have as much money right now, and I think that's going to be a continuing thing, because honestly, there's a lot more people that are going to be outraged if that goes through, and I imagine that there could be a lot of legitimate kind of boycotts that could really screw some of these companies over if they don't allow this sort of thing to happen, because there's a lot of people that love these older games. It's not a small
The problem, though, is the article that I read, the association you're talking about, big companies are hiding behind this association, so you don't actually know who is opposing this. So even if you wanted to boycott, you won't.
I'm simply saying that there's a lot of clout behind the other side of this in this case, and I think that one of the advantages of the idea of having the internet and things like that is that you can create situations where the people that normally wouldn't have a voice can have a voice, and I think this is going to be hopefully one of those situations where the ruling goes in favor of something that makes sense, because I would love to keep an archive of these wonderful games. I don't want to see Abandonware get destroyed.
So what you're saying is we should channel our nerd rage in a productive manner.
Yes. I think that we should just in a productive way.
I think Steven just pooped a little.
A little bit.
I know Devin did. Look at his face.
All right, well, we should start wrapping this thing up. So do you guys have anything else that you wanted to bring up for the evening?
Nothing that I can't wait till next week. Hey.
That's kind of what I was thinking. So unless we want to jump into my little prompt that I often try and make, otherwise we can go right into me whoring us out. What do you guys prefer?
Did you know that all Fruit Loops are the same flavor?
Yes.
And they're still delicious.
But I mean, there are some kinds of Fruit Loops that do not taste the same as Fruit Loops, but
No,
the
those
loops
are
themselves
Fruit
and
O's.
Fruit Loops.
Yeah, those are Fruity O's.
Right. I mean, I'm just saying there are
Wait,
different.
do you
kinds
guys
of
remember
Fruit
the old
Loops.
Malta-Meal commercials from when we were kids, where the guy was like,
Ugh.
"I'd like to shop down here," and he's like walking all hunched over. He's like, "See, this big bag of Malta-Meal is only $4.99," or like
Oh, that's
whatever it
right.
was.
They
It was
did
all
do commercials based on
yeah.
that shit.
They were like, buy the off-brand shit. It's down, and you were supposed
Right.
to be like, "Oh fuck, I never looked down."
I think my favorite part about that circumstance is when you said that, you pointed down, and immediately I thought, wait, we want to shop by your dick? I don't want that. Because it looked like you were literally pointing
that
right
kid.
down there.
You're still that kid. All right, with the whoring.
All right. So let us go ahead.
Oh, sorry.
Let us go ahead and do this thing that I often do. For all of you guys listening in the audio version and can't see our wonderful prompt, which I think is in this direction, because I could be
Other
wrong.
direction. Up there.
In this direction. I got it right this time. You can follow us on the website, which is www.5dpodcast.com. You can hit us up with our email, 5d@5dpodcast.com. We're also on Facebook as in 5D Podcast. We're on YouTube as 5D Podcast, Twitch as 5D Podcast. And we also have 5D_podcast on Twitter. You can also hit me up on Twitter, which is Figbird4885. And although Tyler hasn't been here, we miss him dearly, and he is Cosplay Fiend. I highly recommend popping into the Twitch channel itself when we're doing the live recording, because we do like to interact with you guys occasionally when you got questions or whatever. We do that on Wednesday, usually from 7 to 8 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. Otherwise, the show goes live on Saturday, usually around 12 in the afternoon. And you can also check us out when we do various streaming events for 5D, which is tomorrow, which is Thursday, at usually 7 o'clock. Also, the Metagame Network, which also hosts this thing, does its own thing pretty much every day from 5 to 9-ish.
And catch us tomorrow streaming here on.
I already
5D
said
Podcast.
that bit. That
I'm
happened
saying
like...
it again.
Okay, we're saying it again. With all that being said, I think I got it all, too, which is impressive, because I didn't even, stop. I was just, rambling like some sort of... anyways. With that, I'd like to say good night, and thank everybody for stopping in, listening.
Bye.
See ya.
Peace and chicken grease.
Peace, bras, and Santa Claus.